Hi, I'm Don Peoples, President of Butte Central Catholic Schools, and welcome to We Are BC TV. Today, we're taping from Center Court at the Maroon Activity Center, and our guest is head boys basketball coach Brodie Kelly. Brodie, welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here again.
You know, Coach Kelly, as we talked about in an earlier segment, has been with the program for, this is his 17th season. He's had great success as our head basketball coach, and we're right in the middle of the season now. I know when we visited before Christmas, you were getting ready for that first game, which was about 10 days away. And I know a couple days right after Christmas, we found out we had a few positive cases, so our team went into, the majority of your varsity team went into quarantine. And so that was a wrench into the start of the season. So maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it certainly was kind of uncharted territory for me. I mean, as I said, you've been at it for 17 years. I've never faced these kind of situations before. I'm never going to give our team excuses. You know, it just doesn't make us better. But, you know, the fact is a fact. And having those 10 days of no practice, you know, it made a difference. Just, you know, keeping guys in shape. As much as these kids worked and tried to stay in shape on their own at home, it's not the same. And the mental part of it especially was, you know, that was the biggest challenge. And for us, we have an entirely new team this year. We only have one guy back that played, you know, minutes at varsity minutes last year. And so we're searching a little bit. We're finding ourselves. We're kind of learning a little bit about how we play and style and roles. And that was a that was a little bit of adversity to deal with right out of the chutes.
Well, I think your kids have responded well. I mean, I know that. As you said, you don't make excuses, but I know that in the last 8 days now, you've played 3 games, really. And that first game was played on 1 day of practice. So let's jump right into that. You played the Dillon Beavers a week ago Saturday. Dillon has proven so far to be one of the powerhouses in the Western A and in Class A for that matter. I thought your kids competed very well and battled all the way to the late in the game with them. So I know that was you're not out for moral victories, and that's been the mark of your program, and I think that's why you've been so successful. But I think your guys came out and competed hard in that game, and it was the first varsity game for a lot of your kids.
Yeah, it was. And again, it was just a really tough circumstance. I mean, our kids came off quarantine at midnight on Thursday. We had 1 practice. We tried to prepare the best we could. Plus, we were down one of our varsity guys. And so we played pretty much a 6-man rotation, and you know, without being in shape, it's a tall order, 6 guys, and Dillon's a really good team. You know, they're talented,
and they had some games under their belt already at that point too. Right?
That was their 3rd game. Yeah, everybody's ahead of us right now in games. Last night we played Corvallis. That was their 6th game in our 3rd. But in the Dillon game, yeah, I was there. We played well, I thought, for 20 of 32 minutes, and really considering what we were coming in, you know, as prepared as we could be. Probably about as reasonable as you could expect.
Right. Well, let's follow up. 5 days after that ball game, you lined up against at home, our first home game against the Three Forks Wolves, and Three Forks has been a perennial Class B program. They're very competitive. Three Forks is a great basketball community, and you guys came out and defended the home court and got a victory. Yeah,
that was a good win for us. Yeah, and they were a state semifinal team last year. They were like us. They lost a lot of guys, kind of starting over this year, but. Matchup-wise, it was a good matchup for us. And again, we're learning. I mean, I'm always an honest guy. You know, I always tell our guys I believe in honesty over positivity. You're going to hear the truth, and you know, our expectations are higher than what we're playing right now, and that's okay. Like, we're just not there yet. It's only game 3. This is a unique season where typically you have that pre-Christmas schedule to kind of find yourselves a little bit. Then you get that 10 days to adjust, maybe. You're tweaking your offense or defense or rotations or whatnot, and we're having to do that on the fly because these games are going to be fast
baptism by fire,
furious.
Right?
It absolutely is, you know. And I know the guys want to play, and so you know, again, unique circumstances this year. Yeah, so the Three Forks game for us, it was good to get a win, and especially to get one on the home court.
Well, I think the one thing, just being able to be at that ball game, I know that it got tight at the end, and I thought you guys made some hustle plays and some stops and hit some key buckets. So that was a good mark of a young team trying to find itself. They really handled some pressure in that 4th quarter and found a way to win, really.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, yeah, Three Forks tied it up at the end of 3. And yeah, the main thing that I'd like to see was in the 4th quarter, Three Forks only made one bucket until kind of a garbage time bucket at the end. So that was good, getting stops in the fourth quarter.
Right. Well, that's the third game, which was played yesterday. You're on the road. I was here watching our girls play, but I had the NFHS network on, so I was watching. And there's some ups and downs. You guys battled back and took a lead, and had a lead late in the game. But you're on the road, and just didn't finish. And I know that again, you're not going to make excuses, and that's going to be a launching pad for the tempo this week, I bet. Huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of lessons to learn again. I mean, it was a close game at halftime. Third quarter, we played well. We started making shots. We were 1 for 12 from the three-point line in the first half. Third quarter, we started knocking them down. Bryson hit some shots, and Brian Holland, and we grew that lead to 11. And again, just a team that's not been in these moments. We were playing with a lead and shooting fast and going fast, and instead of just kind of moving the ball. Lessons to learn there. And Corvallis hit a three at the buzzer in the third to actually take the lead going into the fourth. And then late in the game, we were up 4 a few times inside the last couple of minutes, and just a flurry of mistakes that again a young team's going to make. And that happened, and I hope it was painful. We don't like losing, but hopefully we learn from it.
Well, sometimes they say you learn more from a loss than a win as a team, and it certainly will be a motivator in practice the next 3 days. I'm sure.
It will, yeah. And as with every year, I mean, that a lot of times when you lose, it does force you to, to make tweaks, adjust what you're doing, and again, that's refinement. That's why I always feel like the best teams at tournament time aren't always the teams that get there with the best record. A lot of times it makes you better to go through some adversity.
It's a marathon. Rather than a sprint sometimes. Right?
Yeah, for sure. And I got to keep reminding myself, this is a new group of guys. I think we got talent, we got hard-working kids, but also got to realize that it takes some time. You got to be in these situations, just like the last few years' teams when those kids were, freshmen and sophomores. They were in the same boat. They had to learn a little bit. And by the time they, were juniors and seniors, it paid off.
Right. Well, before we talk about the upcoming schedule, let's talk about the younger guys in the program. I know that one of the great strengths you've had is Coach Renzi Kelly. Does a great job developing the freshman team, and you've got Colin Hollow doing the JVs, and those kids they've gone out and they're getting a bunch of playing time, and they're playing well, and you're developing young guys too.
Yeah, that part's been good. The freshmen actually are 3-0, and they won an overtime game yesterday. What's really unique for us this year, again, just with our numbers, we've got a lot of the same boys playing both freshman and JV. Some of them, we fortunately can have 6 quarters between those 2 sub-varsity games, and they're using them. A lot of action.
Well, I noticed when at the Dillon game, I saw some of those young guys, some of the freshman kids were in their 6th quarter. They were tired.
Absolutely.
But what a great thing, though. They're getting 6 quarters a night where,
yeah.
So that's great. And we talked about that in our last segment. That's a strength of Butte Central. If you want to come and have an opportunity to play, this is the school where you can, have a chance to develop, and there's opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely there is. And it's true. And, those kids, like, getting 6 quarters with the minutes. And the other thing is that, we don't make excuses. I mean, we're going out. We start our JV warm-ups with the 3 players that we're adding to the Frosh that just played.
Right.
Yesterday, I think the opposing coach was like, "Where's the team? Like, this is our guys. They just
they're
played
getting that one quick drink of water before they go play a game.
We're going to play a game too." Yeah, and they're fearless and compete. And, it's good for them.
Right. All right, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. I know Friday we've got another powerhouse coming in. Frenchtown has been a really good rival in recent years with the Maroons, and they're real strong again this year. And so that's on Friday, correct?
That's correct.
And then on the road at Stevensville. So two more tough conference games ahead.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, that's what we want to do, is play the best teams and be challenged. And yeah, Frenchtown, they're going to be a unique matchup for us. They start big. They've got probably 4 kids in their starting lineup that are taller than any of our players, and so we're going to be undersized. But I think we've got some good grit and toughness, and it'll be kind of a contrast of styles a little bit this week. But I just like the challenge. I'm glad they're coming here and get a shot at them.
Well, greatly. Best of luck going forward. I know looks like we have 13 games left on the schedule, so there's a lot of basketball left, and then postseason time. And one of the great things that you've accomplished is your teams always seem to play their best at the end of the year. So I know it's going to be there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of games to be played over the next 5 weeks or so. So we'll visit it every couple of weeks now. I think it's really great to get our BC fans and the BC community sort of the inside scoop on Central Maroon boys basketball, and best of luck, and thanks for being here today, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's a big week for us. Looking forward to it.
Go Maroons!
All right, thanks.